Last month, I published my Roth Masterclass. And a few days following it, I received an email of something that, a follow-up question. And I figured this would be a great excuse to make my inaugural Ask Me Anything video. So I figured this question is something that might be on other people's minds. I didn't really get too much into it because right now I'm talking about the accumulation phase of everything Roth. But as these plans become a more and more commonplace, we're going to run into the withdrawals of the 401ks, Roth 401ks, and whatnot. So this is a great time to establish what is to be expected down the road. This person emailing me, I'll just read it to you. I'm 56 and I have both traditional and Roth 401k. Right now I contribute the maximum to my Roth 401k each year and plan on retiring in 8 years. I have two questions. One, will I have to take an RMD? And number two, can I also contribute to a Roth IRA? So let me answer these both as a combination. That's very astute. You actually do need to take a required minimum distribution from a Roth 401k. Now, people are used to doing this in a pre-tax 401k and an IRA. And the confusion lies is because a Roth IRA does not have an RMD, only the Roth 401k. So what we're talking about doing is rolling the money from a Roth 401k to a Roth IRA before you reach age 72. Therefore, you will not have to do those required minimum distributions. But I have to bring you back to slide 16 from my master class where I talked about the 5-year holding period. So if you move money from a Roth 401k to a Roth IRA, that would start the 5-year holding period unless you already have a Roth IRA established. So let's say you're 65 years old and you roll your money from a Roth 401k to a Roth IRA. You can take the contributions, the principal out, but you can't get your earnings out for 5 years tax-free without paying taxes or a penalty. So that's something to definitely keep in mind is your timeline for retirement, when you're going to use this money. If you're going to use the Roth 401k to bridge the gap between age 60 and 72 and start doing some serious planning as far as keeping your modified adjusted gross income low for ACA or Medicare purposes, there's some strategies that you'd want to keep your income low and use a lot of this Roth IRA and Roth 401k early. So you have to make sure your Roth IRA is established well enough ahead of the rollover so that you can take advantage of these strategies in the fullest. And that brings me to, his second question is, can he contribute to a Roth IRA? There are several ways or a few ways you can get money into a Roth IRA. The main one is based on your income. So if your income qualifies you for the Roth IRA, of course you can. Doing a Roth 401k and a traditional 401k, all that does not exclude you from a Roth IRA. What normally does is the income. Now, if your income is above and you want to establish a Roth IRA ahead of that 5 years, you could potentially convert a traditional IRA, part of your 401k, to a Roth IRA just to establish the Roth IRA, get the clock kicking on that. I hope you found my inaugural Ask Me Anything helpful. I do appreciate any time I get feedback, whether it be likes, comments, emails, subscribers and whatnot. So just keep on encouraging me, and I'll keep these things coming. And if you do have questions, there's a good chance that someone else in my network is thinking the same thing. So this helps give me a pulse of what people are thinking. So like I said, ask me a bunch of questions, and perhaps I'll make a video post about it. And if the questions are coming in enough, I've even been batting around the idea of a couple Fridays a month, setting aside an hour, maybe even going live with some questions. So thank you again for your support, and have an awesome day.